Many people believe that losing it all is the end, and I'm here to say it can also be a new beginning. And as Brent Cassidy, our guest today, stood at the gate of Leavenworth Prison to serve a 5-year sentence, those are the exact thoughts that flooded his mind. But Brent is here to say it truly can be a new beginning. And here he is, joining us now in the studio to talk to us about how to unlock the prison of your mind. Brent, welcome to our show.
Shep.
This is great. And you've written a book. It's Nightmare Success, because you actually experienced a nightmare, and it had to be family business.
It was a family business, Shep, and it was a nightmare. And I'm not so sure that I would recommend.
The business wasn't a nightmare until found out there was some wrongdoing.
No, the business actually, really good people in the business, and I think out of all of everything, I'll say this: it's horrible to have it all and lose it all. But the thing that I am left with, we had some really good people that worked in our business, and they worked there for a long time, and those people's lives were changed. And I hate the fact that what happened with our business, there was a black eye given, but those people shouldn't have gotten a black eye. They were good people.
Good people. So we don't need to rehash everything that happened, but basically you did some things that caught the attention of the federal government.
Yep.
And you and other family members, your father,
Yep.
brother.
Yeah, so it were 6 people, and Dad was kind of the guy. Dad had served time in prison before when I was a kid, so I had actually been through this before. So this was different this time because
you
I'm
were the one
involved
going, not
with
it.
it,
Yeah.
and so Dad, they were after Dad, and so he also got a few other people wrapped in with him, and so yeah, Dad served a 10-year sentence, and then I had a 5-year sentence, and a few other people had a 10, 7, and 3, and I think a 1-year
Well,
sentence.
here's the question. Okay, I mean, this had to be devastating. You're standing there at the gates of a prison,
Yes.
Leavenworth Prison.
Yes.
And what's going through your mind?
Well, Shep, it's one of the toughest things you'll ever do, because you know that everything that you love, you're looking behind that's just dropped you off. And everything you're going forward into is the unknown. And so you have to get into your mind that whatever's going to happen, I've just got to get through it, step at a time.
Was it a step? Were you thinking 1 day at a time, 1 hour at a time?
Yeah.
What's your thought? Because 5 years is a long time.
Yeah.
And by the way, your wife and the family's still together, which is impressive, because that doesn't happen typically in your situation.
It's a big deal.
Yeah.
Because in our prison system, most families, because of what happens and the process of what you have to go through, the families are broken. And I'm so grateful that that did not happen with me. I have just a wonderful wife. She's like a Wonder Woman. She was just an ideal, perfect role model for our daughters to see, hey, Mom can handle this. Mom's going through this. And I think it gave them strength. They saw that Mom and Dad were handling this, and that we were going to. The big key for us is that we decided that we're going to be survivors through this. It was a very public situation, very, news and all the other things went on. We decided, hey, we've got good friends, we've got people that are supporting us, we're going to lock into that, but we're not going to be victims in this, we're going to be survivors. And I think one of the big things, and I think it's a survival technique in prison or in life, when you're a victim, and we have a lot of victimhood going on in our society now. When you're a victim, it drains you of strength. You blame people. It freezes you in your steps, and you can't move. If you're a survivor and you flip the script, that gives you strength. You find ways.
That's what this book, Nightmare Success, is about.
Yeah.
And I want to talk about now. You flip the script. You're coming out. And I think there's a lesson here of resilience. And I love this. We recently had a guest on who, nothing related to what you do, but he had to prove an incredible amount of resilience. His entire life, his career had been turned upside down. Yours was too, but you add this extra element of now you have a prison record,
right,
and you come out. Tell me what because we don't have a ton of time, get right to it. What did you do to come out and say, I'm ready?
Well, I think one of the things that prison will teach you is you have to have strategies in prison. And if you're going to make it in prison, you can't lose yourself. You have to decide that you're going to continue to be you, and what are you going to do. And so you can't look at, like you're saying, Shep, 5 years. You've got to, that's way too much overwhelming. In prison, you have to think, okay, it's one day at a time, win the day. You can even have a bad day. And I'm saying anybody can have a bad day. Let's don't be not reasonable here. If you have a bad day, let yourself go all the way down, but bring yourself back.
Yep.
Because
when were you at your deepest, darkest moment?
My deepest and darkest moment was when I had, the kids were coming. It was Carly's birthday. The prison guard knew that I loved my visits, and he decided, just because he was just not a nice guy, all three of my girls were there and my wife, and we were going to celebrate Carly's birthday, and he turned them away. They'd just driven 5 hours. And he just did it to see my reaction. And it was that moment that I felt, it was down to my gut. I have no control, but I have to keep control, or if I do something, I'm going to find myself in the hole. So my point on having a bad day is that you can give yourself a bad day. Just don't have 2 bad days in a row.
Every day is an opportunity to start over.
Exactly.
Yep.
And find something to make that happen.
Yep. And I think that's important. We've got just a moment left. Is there one last thought you'd like to share about this ordeal and how you overcame really what is a nightmare? Because you're living a pretty good life right now. You're back to normal.
Yeah.
Maybe not back to what it was before, but it's a normal life.
No, and I appreciate that, Shep. Here's the thing that I think. Nightmare Success, the book is about the fact that you have to walk through your nightmares and your fears to get to where you want to be and set yourself free. My takeaway here is nothing is ever as bad as your mind makes it out to be. Not even prison.
Not even prison.
So you can take that step.
All right. Nightmare Success. Brent Cassidy, thanks for being on the show.
Thanks, Shep. Appreciate it.